Norwan, I'm very pleased that you're here with us. I know it's a choice you made to come here, and thank you, Kirsti, for reminding us why we're not allowed to take photographs. Norwan, you're one of those brave women of Afghanistan, and you've decided and you've agreed to come here and to speak to us all on the situation in Afghanistan, but also on your work. Norwan lives in Stavanger, and she's lived in Stavanger for about a year. We'll do this session in English. The next will be in Norwegian, so bear with us. Norwan has lived in Stavanger for a year. Stavanger is one of those international cities for writers and poets who are under threat from their home country. FRIBY Stavanger. It's the one, I think it's the first city in Norway as such a city, and every year they have writers and poets from abroad. Norwan, thank you for coming to us.
Thank you very much. It's an honor for me to be here. I'm very excited and very happy, and thanks from the wonderful and fantastic program.
What we know I've read some of your poetry and your writings as well, and they're about everything in life, you know, and more than that. And you really picture all the different emotions of an Afghan woman, I suppose. What do you write about? What are you trying to tell us?
My Farsi writings, which I write in my language, always remained a secret. So tonight I'm going to break the secret, and I will read one of them to you. I write in my language, Farsi, and I write in English. My poems and my essays captures the pictures about life of women in Afghanistan, not only life of women, but life of children and also ordinary people. When I see a woman who gains vote and goes to the parliament, and we have engineers, we have doctors, we have talented journalists, but we also have lots of problems. And when we talk about Afghan women, Afghanistan women, then it doesn't mean that we just count on Kabul, which is the capital, and also Mazar or Herat, which the cities that women can have their voice and they can go to school. But when I write my poems, I think that I remember all the Afghanistan sisters who cannot go to school, who are remained silent, and they wish to have a voice and rights, but all our simple rights are taken from us.
What are you able to write more freely when you're here in Stavanger?
I think that the aim I'm here is because of my education, I mean higher education, and also my writings, because I think that, and I believe and I trust that we can bring a change only when we are educated, and through education we can change ideologies. So we need a change, and we should start from ourselves. So I'm going to be a sample or a model for my other sisters, to show them that Afghanistan women can be professors, can have PhDs, can talk to the world, and can have a voice.
What's it like being a writer in Afghanistan?
It is very difficult because in Afghanistan, life of ordinary women are like this, that, for example, if you want to have a desire or a wish, for example, if you go to school or a woman writes a poem or writes something, then she loses something else. For example, if she's not allowed from family and she loses her family, and also some conflicts from everywhere. So it's not, it's very difficult, and unfortunately for most of our people, because of lack of education, it's very cheap that they see that a woman is writing, and writing means nothing to them. Writing means nothing, and only some pieces of papers, and I can't explain it. You know, it's in my poetry. But,
yeah. Last night I was reading one of your poems called Happiness. And it's about happiness as well in Afghanistan. But today I met her little son, who's 6 months.
3 months, almost 3 months.
3 months, yeah. Big boy, whose name is Happiness. So it turns out it's the poem about her little son.
When I write, most of my writings are very, very sad, because I think that life of ordinary people in Afghanistan and ordinary women in Afghanistan are very difficult. But it doesn't mean that we all cry all the time and we don't have happiness in our life. Of course, we live with happiness and we are happy. And when I wrote a poem for my baby, then he was really a happiness for me here in Norway. And I'm going to write more poems for Afghanistan kids, and I will dedicate it to them, because we never wrote poems for kids and children.
You said that you wanted to read a few pieces. Maybe you want to read one, share one with us?
Sure.
A poem? Norwan writes both in Dari and in English, and she said she would read one of each.
This poem is title is Eyes of My Burqa. In Farsi it means Cheshmak Chaudhary, which is very, very common. World is a small word from the eyes of my burqa. There is no geography. I can't see my right, nor can I turn to my left. Hot in the summer, cold in the winter. Wearing a burqa, I wear a tent that hides my beauty. My mouth is blind. I have to eat my voice. My hands are locked in a cage, sentenced to move or shake. My legs too ashamed to walk. My long burqa sweeps the dust. I don't know who I am under the tent. My heavy burqa, you can't see my pen. You can't see my pen nor my paper. Under the burqa, I am an Afghan woman writer searching for a house of freedom.
Did you write that poem in Stavanger? Or
I just wrote it 3 days ago.
Wow, especially for us.
Sure.
This exhibition here and the whole event, I suppose, is many different voices and ways of expressing opinions on Afghanistan. And that's one medium of writing poetry and poems. Why did you choose poetry as your weapon?
It really is. I use it as a weapon because it defends from me, and it's a voice, I think, for me. And I am a kind of healing myself writing, and I feel very, very okay when I write. And when, especially, I feel very okay when someone hear that.
Do you, you're here in Stavanger because your life is in threat? You've been threatened in Afghanistan because of your writing?
It is because of this, and ICORN is the organization helping writers because of this, and that's why I'm here.
All over, we know that being a journalist and being a writer in many parts of the world is extremely dangerous. And journalists, very often local journalists and photographers, are killed on the war zone in their profession, but also for what they write, local journalists. In your team of writers in Stavanger, what nationalities are there? What different nationalities are there?
We have a very international team in Stavanger, and writers are mostly from Yemen, from Syria, from Iran, and they are really good and wonderful voices, and they are writing and they are defending from what happens in their countries, and they really have their voice here in Norway.
How important is it to be able to sit in Stavanger and to write and to tell your stories?
It's a challenge because we have the international audience, and we need to be heard and to talk more, and people listen to us. So as much as we write, and we have festivals in Stavanger, we have poetry programs, we have presentations, and writers work in a very friendly and in a very good team that it works, and it helps them to write, not to stop.
And do you hope to go back to Afghanistan soon?
I wish, I love to do that. I don't have plan to go now.
Yeah. What do you expect? I mean, do you see that with the changes now, the next few years, do you think it will be a more friendly environment for writers and journalists?
Even that I cannot kill the hope for the peace and the independence for Afghanistan people, but I'm sorry to say that I'm very disappointed day by day for the situation of Afghanistan, and also what happens every day.
This is sort of a speed date. This is speed dating with different people, and I have been given very short time for each person. But I'd like to ask you to read a last poem, if you may.
Thank you. The title is "Take My Hands." Where can I talk? Where can I tell my untold stories? Where? I speak from under my burqa. I am not allowed to speak aloud. I am an Afghan woman. I breathe poisons. I am not allowed to breathe the fresh air you breathe. I look outside the windows of my burqa. It seems as if there is no hope, no light. I see nothing but hopeless dreams. I see nothing but darkness, darkness, darkness. It seems as if the doors of victory are closed, locked, locked, locked. There is no door in the jungle of wild thoughts. I want a light to see my way. I want nothing else but to live the way I want to live. I want to release myself from the prison of a voiceless land, from the tribe of silent, dead, burned women. Help me, take my hands. It's not written in my destiny to burn myself. Can you hear me? I am a voice of my dead, silent generation. I speak from under my burqa. I am not allowed to speak aloud. Where can I talk? Where can I tell my untold stories? Where can I buy a light? Thanks.
Thank you very much, Norwan.
Thanks
and I
a
hope
lot.
to read more of your poems, and may they also be poems of happiness and about your son.
I hope so. Thank you very much.
Thank you.